Welcome, good people. Welcome to Heavy Brand Podcast on Facebook at IG Reality TV. People have been confusing the tag name at IG Reality TV for an Instagram page. However, it's actually how to get to the Facebook podcast page. You go to Facebook, and in your search button, you just type in at IG Reality TV. So just had to clear that out the way. Just happy to have this podcast. It's for the people. Uh, the main thing is it's to benefit the young men and women that's coming up right now in and outside of Detroit. We're moving the movement nationally. All the young men and women that need that vision of just positive role models, real people, real world situations, just doing their best to just survive, just make it out here, you know. And we do have a special guest. He's about to come on any minute. I'm real excited about that. He's well known throughout the fitness industry. Look him up, Eric the Trainer. Go to Instagram, Eric the Trainer. Um, Excuse me 1 second, good people. So Eric the Trainer, give you a little background. He has close to 30,000 followers on Instagram. But what's impressive about him is he's real humble. Other big time people like CT Fletcher, um, a lot of other big names, they seem to gravitate towards him. He's a very genuinely good dude. He's a celebrity fitness trainer, um, but he's bigger than just fitness itself. He's been pretty much a part of the fitness industry for a while. That's probably how a lot of big name guys that you may have seen on TV seem to always follow him where he goes and kind of lean on him for his creativity. So Eric the Trainer, once again, he also is a Hollywood physique expert, and he's the host of Celebrity Sweat. Celebrity Sweat has close to 35K followers on Instagram. You got the celebrity workouts, you got the live events. Um, you got a TV show that's featured on Crackle TV. So he's pretty much, I mean, endorsement deals, Quest Nutrition. You can actually Google him up. So, um, he's a good change of pace from some of the guests we've already have. You always want to keep things balanced. We get college athletes, former college athletes, former pro athletes. We get celebrities. We get business owners. So we're trying to expose the youth to um, a wide range of insights and lenses by which to see the world through. You know, a lot of guys I grew up with in the city. When I say the city, for those that are not in state viewing this podcast, I mean the city of Detroit. A lot of guys I grew up with, they never really got to see outside the city. And this is when Detroit had over 1 million residents. Now we're down to like 600,000 residents. So um, it's just really important for the youth to expand their horizons. There's life beyond 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 mile, 5 mile. Um, the streets of Schoolcraft, the streets of Finkel are large, but there's much larger parts of even the state of Michigan to see. So you don't have to focus on everything that's going on in the city, to make it through the day. It's good to learn from other people that are successful and people that are not successful. In this case, as far as this podcast, we're bringing in successful people at all kinds of levels. It might be successful people that you might be able to uh, hop in a car, drive down to go see their business establishment, or it might be successful people on a more commercialized level where you have to, you have to go out and see them on TV or see them on YouTube or see them on Facebook Live. So, here he is now.
Hey, man.
Hey, Eric the trainer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very humbled by you showing up on this youth podcast. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, man. It's great to meet you. And, we just got back from a large hospital here in Los Angeles. We were feeding 200 nurses and medical staff just to give them a break and also let them know how much we really appreciate everything that they do for us. I mean, I think that those nurses and doctors and medical staff never would have imagined in their wildest dreams the kind of stress that they are finding themselves under. And so guys like me and guys like, just some actors in Hollywood and some, the White House chef, Andre Rush, the White House chef.
Your fellow military guy.
Yeah, he came with us just now. So it was me. It was the White House chef. It was one of the guys from the rock band Nickelback. It was Vinny Rodriguez III. He's a great actor. And it was Jason Doran. He's a great actor too. So we're like the Magic Five. We're like,
okay.
And it was awesome, man. I wore my Viking helmet, and they knew they were not in danger because I would protect everyone. But
right.
Listen, what you do is great, man. So anything I can do to help, you let me know.
Appreciate it. So I'm gonna give you a little background. So I'm former military, like the chef, former Marine back in my younger days.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to give back to the youth because I was a child refugee from Ghana back in the 80s.
Whoa.
And yeah, I posted something on my Instagram. My Instagram is Heavy Brand Inc. at Heavy Brand Inc. And I shared a little bit of my background. I was a child refugee in the 80s, but straight from Ghana to Detroit, Michigan. And this when Detroit had 1 million residents. Now we're down to only like 600,000 residents. But I always kind of wanted to find my niche in life. I did security guard jobs. I did all types of 9-to-5s. And then finally, I landed a job in one of the larger nonprofits in Detroit, Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network. And I'm a youth advocate. I'm a youth leader. And I want to do this podcast because I wanted to expose the youth of Detroit to life beyond the city limits. I've had, different guests on the show to expand, the viewers' horizons. And you really piqued my interest because I noticed that, yes, I see people on Instagram, they have their brand, okay, fine. But I see that other big names seem to gravitate towards you. And that's not always common. Then, watching some of your videos, you're incredibly humble. You don't have that, I've made it, I'll get back to you. And that's really refreshing to see. That's not that common, especially in the fitness industry. So,
well, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Really, really appreciate that. So, Eric, to our viewers out in Detroit, share your background a little bit as far as how you got into the fitness industry.
Well, I'll tell you something first off. I grew up on a farm in Maine. We're talking cold weather. We're talking snow for most of the year. We're talking trees. You've never seen so many trees. There were not beautiful girls. There were no palm trees. These were like giant, they look like Christmas trees. And, growing up on a farm, man, it's, you kind of wonder, how will I ever get out of here? I mean, my parents weren't rich. My parents weren't famous. And so I think that sometimes when I meet youth from the inner city and they think to themselves, like, how can I break out of this? How can I find enlightenment outside of the city limits? I say to them, I was just like you, but instead of being in the city, I was out in the middle of nowhere. That's almost worse. I mean, when I walk down the street in the city, there might be a car that goes by or a siren. Where I grew up, you could lie in the middle of the road for hours on end. No car will hit you. There's no one around, man. In the entire state of Maine, where I grew up, there's only 1 million people in the whole state, and it's a big state. So I know what it's like to be a young person and wonder to myself, how am I going to get out of here? As a matter of fact, if I have time, I'll tell you. Do you want to hear a story? I remember being a kid, and I had a happy childhood. I lived on a farm, and I got older and older and older. And then one day, I was probably around 12 or 13. I looked in the mirror, and I knew I wasn't a little kid anymore, but I definitely was not an adult. So I was in that weird in-between phase where you're not a kid and you're not an adult, and that can be a little hard. So I had a consciousness, I had an awareness that I was in the middle of nowhere, and I didn't know how I was going to get out of there. And so at that very moment where I thought, what am I going to do to get out of here? I remember sitting on my bed and looking outside at the darkness in the window with the snow falling. And I thought, this is like a prison without walls. I mean, there's no one around. The best looking girl in my class had a long tooth in the front, but she was a woman, so we all wanted to kiss her. Anyway, that's another story. So at that moment where I thought, how am I going to get out of here? I was listening to a rock band called Def Leppard. Remember those guys, Def Leppard? And I had just seen a movie called The Karate Kid. And so at that moment of truth, that moment where you think, okay, what's going to happen? I was listening to those things. I was watching that. Now, years later, I'm an adult. I live in Los Angeles. I train Def Leppard. I tour with them. I work with them. They're like my coworkers now. And I train the guys from The Karate Kid.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes things can come full circle if you follow your passion. I can tell you this. I didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, but I'll tell you what I did have. I did have enthusiasm. And you would be surprised how having enthusiasm separates you from a lot of the other kids that are just playing video games or, just obsessed with sports and they just do sports all the time. If you can showcase your enthusiasm, you almost don't need money because business leaders, thought leaders, community leaders are always looking for enthusiastic people to join with them in their mission. And so my suggestion is for your young people to, number one, showcase your enthusiasm. If you're a nice person, but you're super quiet, nobody knows that you're nice. You're almost like a supermodel living in Alaska. You might be good looking. Nobody knows you're up there. Show people the love that's in your heart. Show people your enthusiasm. If you're someone that likes to sing, don't be shy. Sing. Ow, ow. Whatever you want to do. And that way you'll make yourself noticed. You'll align with the right type of person. Also, there's no need for young people to spend time with people that they don't like. It's just not
for the sake of fitting in.
Right. I used to think that fitting in was important. And then I realized something that's magical, truly magical. And that is, if you spend time with someone that you love and respect, who you really like. In my case, I was actually in the Boy Scouts when I was younger. And our Boy Scout leader was such a smart guy. He was such an interesting guy. He taught me how to fish. He taught me how to build a tent. He taught me how to use a compass. All of those lessons I learned when I was younger, now they help me form the person I am today. Like, I literally have helped old women across the street as an adult looking like this because I was taught to do that as a Boy Scout. So I think sometimes your childhood does have a profound effect on your adulthood in both good ways and bad ways. I can tell you this, when I was a kid, I used to read comic books all the time and I would get in trouble. My parents are like, you're supposed to read this book and you're reading comic books. Guess what? Let me tell you how it all works out. My job now here in Los Angeles, my actual job, how I earn money, is taking normal looking men and women and transforming their bodies into extraordinary comic book-like visions. So all those comic books I read when I was younger, they literally helped me as a professional today. And so never let anyone say to you, what you're interested doesn't matter, because even reading comic books for a guy like me, it all worked out. It's pretty cool, man.
That's a beautiful story, and a lesson that the youth can learn is it's okay to be yourself, and it's okay to align yourself with people that are like you.
Yes, it's true. I'll tell you something else. There's great power in diversity. Where I grew up in Maine, everybody was white. I'm talking like Snow White. You ready for this? Of a high school class of 300 children from 15 area towns, I was the only Jewish guy.
Oh, wow.
They didn't even know what Jewish meant. They were so ignorant, they didn't even know how to be prejudiced. I'm just telling you, man. So, and there was no one that looked like you. I didn't see any African Americans. I didn't see any Asian people. One of the things that I did when I left Maine was I wanted to move to a place where there was diversity, because I think there's beauty and power and excitement in diversity. And that's something also that was an important lesson for me to learn. My friends are now from all over the world, every shape and color, and I feel so blessed and lucky to be enhanced by all of them. They're interesting, amazing people doing cool things. Celebrate diversity. Don't just stay with your
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, as far as fitness for the youth that that are not on any sports teams and they want to build a decent physique.
Yes.
Give us like 5 workouts that they could do at home.
Great. Okay, so if you're a kid, meaning you're under 18 and you want to be strong, but maybe you don't have access to a gym, maybe you're not on a sports team, these are the 5 things that I recommend. Number 1, my favorite workout in the entire world, no matter what, even if we're in the best gym, is the push-up. And nobody does more push-ups than the guy in the crazy hat. Trust me, I did 1,000 push-ups in a row live on television a couple years ago to raise money for charity. I love push-ups. And I don't just do normal push-ups. I don't just go all the way up, all the way down. I'll go all the way down, do a double tap or a triple tap at the bottom, come halfway up. I change the range of motions. I hit my chest several times on the ground before I come up. Listen, I think about push-ups the way that Waffle House thinks about waffles. I love push-ups, man. So that's number 1. Number 2, the walking lunge. If you want your legs to be stronger, doing a walking lunge, you don't need any weights. So just stand normally and then take a big step forward like you're stepping over a mud puddle at the playground. Then bring your knee down, but don't touch your knee to the floor, and then step into the next one. The exciting thing about the lunge that's different than other activities is the front leg works and the back leg stretches. So it's a very dynamic exercise. It'll make your legs so much stronger, and it'll also strengthen your gluteus maximus muscle, which is an important muscle for any kind of athletics. So my second choice would be the walking lunge. My third choice is the pull-up. I love pull-ups, and I do them this way. I do chin-ups this way. Anytime there's a bar and you can pull yourself up, it's a feeling of empowerment. Do you realize if you can do only one pull-up, that puts you in the top 80 to 90% of all people, because 80 to 90% of all people can't even do one. So if you can do one, you're already in the top echelon. It's kind of cool. So good. My fourth favorite exercise is the crunch. So if you lie on the floor, you bend your knees, you put your hands behind your hat. In my case, my hands behind my horns. And then you take your chin and you put it close to your chest, squeeze your stomach, and sit halfway up. Now, there are trainers that will tell you, don't put your chin close to your chest. Pretend there's an apple under your chin. But that's incorrect, and I'll tell you why. The chin is the trigger for the abdominal, meaning if the chin is down and you squeeze your stomach, you have the power, the isometric contraction power to squeeze your stomach. If your chin is up, you don't have that same ability. And that is why, I started martial arts when I was 10 years old. I'm 51 now. I've been doing martial arts for 41 years without stopping. Trust me, I know a little bit about karate. As a martial artist, I would never punch someone in the stomach without pushing their chin back, because I don't want them to be able to protect themselves. Conversely, if someone's going to kick you or punch you in the stomach, drop your chin down, squeeze your stomach, it'll protect you. So realize the chin is the trigger for the abdominal. And my final exercise of the top 5, believe it or not, is calf raises. And this is one of the most underused workout there is. Calf raises are amazing, meaning you're standing up normally, then you go up on your tiptoes, and then you come back down. So your heel goes up and down. As a personal trainer, I've been a trainer for almost 30 years. As someone does calf raises, what I'm watching is not the calf muscle, I'm watching their heel. I want to watch to see how far that heel travels, because the more the heel goes up and down, the more the calf is activated. Now, you might ask me, why would you want to do calf raises? Well, if you play basketball, that helps with your slam dunk. That helps with your jumping ability. It's amazing. But the other big reason why calf raises are terrific is because the calf is the furthest muscle from the heart. It takes more effort for your heart to pump blood down to your calf than any other muscle in the body. So it's very exciting to get muscular calves and really develop that, so you have that springing action so you can do whatever you want to do.
Thank you, Eric. I learned I thought I knew a lot about fitness, but I guess I didn't.
I'm always happy to share, man. It's my obsession. I love fitness the way you love your wife.
Appreciate that. That's a fact. I just want to thank you for taking this time, out of your obviously busy schedule. Shout out to all the healthcare workers. My older sister is a nurse in New York.
Oh,
Shout
wow.
out to all the healthcare workers. Appreciate the work you do. If you get a chance, please follow my page on Instagram, Heavy Brand Inc. Inc. like INC. And I hope to one day have you on the show again. And the youth are very excited to have you on board. Thank you so much, Eric the Trainer.
My pleasure. Count me in. Anytime you want me back, I'm there.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Salute.
Thank you, man. That was fun.
Likewise.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.